Yo, what's going on, everybody? Monday. Happy Monday. Hope y'all are having a good start to your week. Just chilling so far. Not much going on, but let's hope it's great. Today we're going to be going through Job 13 on the same track. A little sick. Not really sure what it is, but stuffy. So if you can't hear or anything, I apologize. But we're gonna make do with what we got. So this is Job responding to Zophar, but eventually at verse 20 he switches to talking to God. In 12, Job was also responding to Zophar. Let's get started. Starts with, my eyes have seen all this, my ears have heard and understood it. What you know, I also know, but I am not inferior to you. But I desire to speak to the Almighty and to argue my case with God. You, however, smear me with lies. You are worthless physicians, all of you. If only you would be altogether silent. For you, that would be wisdom. I should have said this before, but this whole thing is basically him responding to his friends about like false assumptions and how he's suffering. He really just wanted to talk to God and present his case. And he just wants his friends to understand that it really can truly be hard, and they don't really understand him. I feel that sometimes. I feel like we definitely all do. We get in these situations where we don't really know what's going on ourselves, and our friends try to help us out, and I just don't understand what we're going through in our minds, and that's so common. But he's just trying to teach his friends not to speak deceitfully on God's behalf. So that verse 1 through 5 is kind of just telling his friends that he understands they're not above him. He understands that he's not above them and they're not above him. And in God's eyes, we're all the same level, no matter what. And then he says he wants to talk to God to explain his case, but his friends are misleading him and are doing him no good and trying to help him out. And they just keep, getting in his head and, smearing him with lies, like he says. And then in 6, he says, hear now my argument. Listen to the plea of my lips. Will you speak wickedly on God's behalf? Will you speak deceitfully for him? Will you show him partially? Will you argue the case for God? Would it turn out well if he examined you? Could you deceive him as you might deceive a mortal? He would surely call you to account if you secretly showed partially. Would not his splendor terrify you? Would not the dread of him fall on you? Your maxims are proverbs of ashes. Your defenses are defenses of clay. This is just telling his friends that they kind of need to step back and look at themselves before they pick him apart and they judge him. And like the stuff that they're saying does nothing. Defenses are defenses of clay. It's just like, like making a sword out of sticks, just plain sticks. Same thing. And we often do this to our friends, not make swords, but judge others before we look, or we try to put ourselves in their shoes and like say we know what's going on and try to help them out and kind of judge them, but not really judge them before we take a step back and look at ourselves. And it's truly unfortunate, and we don't really mean to most of the time. It's just we think we know better, but we just simply don't. And in reality, we're all just as broken. So 13, he says, keep silent and let me speak. Then let come to me what may. Why do I put myself in jeopardy, take my life in my hands? Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him. I will surely defend my ways to his face. Indeed, this will turn out for my deliverance, for no godless person would dare come before him. Listen carefully to what I say. Let my words ring in your ears, now that I have prepared my case. I know I will be vindicated. This is him kind of exposing himself and really opening up. And he ends that with, can anyone bring charges against me? If so, I will be silent and die. So he's really just opening up here, and he knows that if he is to stand up to God, it's not going to end well for him. But he wants it. But he also does say that God is still the source of his hope. He still has that love there for him, as he always has. But he is determined to maintain whatever integrity he still does have, and to seek the Lord's attention, just to understand why he's struggling and why he's putting him through this. But like I said before, punishment is something that makes us grow. It's not the struggle. It helps us grow, and I think we all know that. 20 says, "Only grant me these two things, God, and then I will not hide from you. Withdraw your hand far from me, and stop frightening me with your terrors. Then summon me, and I will answer. Or let me speak, and you reply to me. How many wrongs and sins have I committed? Show me my offense and my sin. Why do you hide your face and consider me your enemy? Will you torment a wind-blown leaf? Will you chase after? For you write down bitter things against me, and make me reap the sins of my youth. You fasten my feet in shackles. You keep close watch on all my paths, by putting marks on the soles of my feet." This is basically just another plea to God to let him go from the suffering and the pain that he's in, and just to reveal why he is enduring this, and he's still being attacked mentally. He shows his fear of God and desire to present his case to him. He just wants to understand, much like us. And I can't stress enough how often we feel this as humans. Like we just are wanting to understand why. But it's all part of it. We don't know why. And that's what makes us stronger. And 28 says, "So man wastes away like something rotten, like a garment eaten by moths." And this is just another call of hopelessness and suffering from Job. Another deep chapter. I feel like all these are pretty deep, and I feel like a lot of us can relate to them, and that's why I'm sharing this book in particular, because college and life holds a lot of things for us that we don't really know what means, but if we stick with God, he'll stick with us no matter what, and he'll be there right by our side to help us out. And we just have to pray, have faith, and hope that he's going to give us all that we would like. But we must ultimately know that what he wants for us is bigger than anything that we can imagine. So we have to follow him blindly and just have faith in the fact that knowing what he's going to give us is great. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a great. Hope you guys are all staying strong through college and high school, whatever it is, whatever y'all are doing. Yeah, take care. Hitting up with 14, Job 14 today, like always. Leaving right off where we left off last time. Go back real quick. I ended up just talking about pleading to God to let him go from the suffering and reveal why he's enduring the pain. And just him ending off with kind of normal stuff, just not understanding why. But yeah, this is him talking to God still, so let's get into it. It says, mortals born of women are a few days and full of trouble. They spring up like flowers and wither away. Like fleeting shadows, they do not endure. Do you fix your eye on them? Will you bring them before for you judgment? Who can bring what is pure from the impure? No one. A person's days are determined. You have decreed the number of his months and have set limits he cannot exceed. So look away from him, let him alone, till he has put in his time like a hired labor. I'm just talking about the hardship of human life, and it says spring up like flowers and wither away, saying that as deep as it is, all will die. He then questions fairness and suffering, wondering if God is seeing him go through this pain. Like, does God know that he's feeling this way? And yes, he does. But Job maintains innocence through all of his pain and questions why God seems to be actively searching for Job's wrongdoing. And yeah, I mean, this is us a lot of the time. And basically this whole book is us a lot of the time. This book is just so deep about just like going through pain. So deep about going through pain and suffering. That's why it's one of my favorites because it's something that as humans we go through no matter what. We will encounter pain, we will encounter suffering, we'll encounter hopelessness and defeat, and that's what God's for, to help us and to push us through those hard times. Not all that he's for, but he is there as a safety net, a shield, and someone that we should follow blindly. That came out wrong. But 7 says, at least there is hope for a tree. If it's cut down, it will sprout again, and its new shoots will not fail. Its roots may grow old in the ground, and its stump die in the soil, yet at the scent of water it will bud, and put forth shoots like a plant. But a man dies and is laid low. He breathes his last and is no more. As the water of a lake dries up, or a riverbed becomes parched and dry, so he lies down and does not rise till the heavens are no more. People will not awake or be roused from their sleep. This is just kind of Job contrasting new life of a tree compared to humans. Like a tree is cut down, it can be rebuilt, replanted, and rise again. But humans, once it's over, our bodies, our flesh, lie down in the dirt 6 feet under, and that's it. But there is more to life than just your flesh after death. And 13, if only you would hide me in the grave and conceal me till your anger is past. If only you would set me a time and then remember me. If someone dies, will they live again? All the days of my hard service, I will wait for my renewal to come. You will call and I will answer. You will long for the creature your hands have made. Surely then you will count my steps, but not keep track of my sin. My offenses will be sealed up in a bag, and you will cover over my sin. This is just kind of, it starts with wishing that he would just die so he doesn't feel anything anymore. And that, my friends, is depression. You can tell, obviously, with what he's going through, he is depressed, and he just wants to die. And it's tough. It's very tough. I'm not going to get too deep into that, but yeah. But he's suffering. He wonders if he'll ever truly live again, and he's just hoping for renewal in heaven, and he longs for God to remember the person that he is. And this kind of reflects over our longing for heaven and restoration with God, which we know will come one day if we follow that narrow path and we just put our faith in him and our love in him, which is great. 18, but as mountains erode and crumble, and as a rock is moved from its place, as water wear away stones and torrents wash away the soil, so you destroy a person's hope. You overpower them once for all, and they're gone. You change their countenance and send them away. If their child are honored, they do not know it. If their offspring are brought low, they do not see it. They feel the pain of their own bodies and mourn only for themselves. This is just Job has no hope, thinks that it's God stripping him of it. Although, as said earlier in Job, by Job, God gives, he can always take away. And oh my gosh, if you have not heard Beautiful Things by Benson Boone, it's kind of a little shout out to him. That's a great song, and I love it. It has been playing on replay, on repeat, on my Spotify. I love it. And that's one of the things with life is God does give us everything. He gives us all our blessings, brings people into our lives, and people for us to love and to love on us and to teach us lessons. And, you know, sometimes there's those people that are put in your lives and you just want them to stay there forever. But it's not always what God has in plan for you. And it hurts. It does. It will. When God takes those people out of your lives that you thought were going to be there forever. It's not an easy thing to do, but everything happens for a reason, and we just got to trust God with that and hope that what he's doing is for the best, which it is. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Stay blessed up. Hope you all have a good Sunday tomorrow. Good way to end the week. Yeah, y'all take care.